I am part of the 2002 batch. But as Sandeep said, I'll be asking the questions here. Malvika is the timer. So each question that we'll ask you will have set time, and she'll remind you 30 seconds before the time is going to over. So the rule is that you have to finish responding to that question within that time slot. As Sandeep said, on behalf of the volunteer group in the US, we would like to thank everybody to join, especially the folks in the West Coast, plus also the folks in India, because 9:30 Saturday, I think there are better things to do at this time. But I think this seems to be an election season all around. We have got US elections that's definitely causing a lot of hiccups. There's elections in MP and also Bihar, plus also the most important is the daily college elections. So I think we should focus today here. So we'll have three segments in the whole session. We'll have first segment is individual questions where we'll ask each candidate the same question and you have to respond in your time limit. Second segment is a team question. So between the pair, you can select who wants to respond to that question, and then you'll get 1 minute for the second speaker of the team to just follow up if anything they want to add. And then last is, as folks join here, we'll open it up for open Q&A for the folks in the US to ask any questions they may have. And the procedure that we followed to prepare these questions was, or maybe the goal originally was to know the candidates, because most of us may not know you. And the whole goal is that as we get the ballots, we want to know you all, and see what your vision is for daily college. And based on that, we can select our votes. Plus, also the way we have gathered questions is we floated around a registration form and we got some responses back from the registration. We got some questions from there, so we've combined those, came up with our own as well. So we'll be covering those. And again, the goal, want to reiterate, the goal is to know you more. This is not a debate. So we are not looking for a back and forth here, but what you can do is if a candidate made a comment, you can use their response as a reference to put your point forward, but there will be no back and forth. The time, as I said, this set time, and we want to wrap it up in that time limit. Plus also the focus is to for you to focus on your vision, your candidacy. So we're looking forward for that. And in terms of who will go first, what we have done is we'll start with the patterns. We'll start with the current board members, and then we'll rotate the speakers. So we'll start with Devraj, Dheeraj, Divya, and Sandeep, and then we'll just start changing the speakers from there on. So before I start, any questions anybody has from the candidates?
Good to go.
Okay, awesome. So I guess the most easiest one is we'll go with start with introductions. So maybe we'll start with Devraj. Maybe you want to go first. You've got 2 minutes for this question.
Sure. Hi, good evening to everybody and season's greetings. Diwali is around the corner, so looking forward for a lovely festive season. I'm batch of 89, and then I graduated from ODA College in marketing, and I'm a first generation entrepreneur, and I'm married to Seema. So I'm a first generation entrepreneur. Started my business with a printing and advertising company in Indore. And from there, I've diversified into multiple areas. I have an industrial park, which caters to small and medium scale industries in Indore. Also now into education for the last 4 years. So multiple things I'm involved with. Personally, I have a lovely family. My wife is also a professional. My son just graduated and he's pursuing theatres in Bombay. I love to play sports. I was involved with the sports team. I was the shooting captain. I was in the basketball team. So I really love playing sports, and I still continue playing sports at Daily College. And I'm a very, very enthusiastic sports player. Socially also, been involved with a lot of things. I'm a permanent trustee with the Indore Cancer Foundation, a foundation which was started actually by Dr. Dikpal Dharkar and Usha Devi Holkar and Sridhar Saab. So involved with the hospital there where we actually treat a lot of poor cancer patients. Also, we have a charitable medical trust. So there are a lot of things we're doing socially as well. And Also was involved with Rally for Rivers initiative in India. That is a very good and something which was something we're looking forward to.
You have 30 more seconds left.
So thanks for that. So involved in a lot of social activities as well, and totally into business.
Dheeraj, do you want to go next?
Hi, good morning to everyone. I'm Dheeraj Chulla from batch of 1994. I have a family, a lovely family. My wife, Priya, she's an entrepreneur in herself. She owns a fashion house. I've got one daughter, Disha, who's from 2016. She's an old Indian. I've got son who has recently passed from 2020 batch. And I am into business, basically into pharmaceutical. The recent company which we have come up is American Pharma Remedies, which works into nutraceuticals especially. So we are mostly into nutraceuticals. Apart from that, I'm into scrap business. We do purchase scraps and decentralize it and then sell those kind of products. Apart from it, if you talk about socially, I'm involved with few of the activities. Majorly is I'm being associated with Shivani Di, Brahma Kumari, and have been associated with them. Then there's a lot of Vradashrams. I'm a part of Leo Clubs, Leo Legends. I've been working with closely with all the old aliens on various platforms. We have got a small organization known as Helping Hands, wherein we have done a lot of work in COVID by getting a lot of old aliens in place and working on in the time of needs. We have been helping
30 more seconds.
Few staff members who got deceased. We got a lot of fund accumulated, 11 lakhs for them, and were helping all the old aliens who are in need with under that organization. This is what I've been doing. Thank you so much.
So very warm good morning to all of you, and thank you for having us with you. It's a great opportunity to connect to all of you, and it's an amazing feeling actually. Look at the world going so small. This is called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. We're sitting right thousands of miles across, and then we connect to each other. So again, and I think election fever is really caught on with you guys because you've just gone through a lot of hiccups, and how you know what is the importance of each vote. I think it is now coming to you very, very closely. So I'm Dr. Divya Gupta, a surgeon, a gynecologist by profession, but a philanthropist at heart. With my experience of surgery and gynecology for the past 34 years behind me, I have seen innumerable deliveries, babies coming out of my beautiful hands, and those beautiful smiling mothers who have thanked me all the way through. That's exactly what I feel is my most cherished moment when I see those smiling babies and the smiling mothers. Then a philanthropist, I feel I call myself only because of the fact that it is my love for the society which goes back to these underprivileged women in the urban slum areas, which I think were looking for an opportunity to stand up with their head high, to earn for themselves, for a livelihood, which gave them self-dependence, confidence, and a way to work.
30 seconds.
Yeah, so 500 women who are connected with my organization called Jwala. I've been teaching self-defense to girls, which are over 2 lakh girls so far that I've reached out to, because that's the call of the hour. And I'm an avid animal lover with innumerable animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, birds all across my house. And that's what I am. So I am Dr. Divya Gupta in front of you, a proud old alien. And I want to reach out to you only for my alma mater, which is yours as well. So thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Sandeep Parekh. I'm an old alien from 79 batch. At school, I was the cricket captain and a prefect. After schooling, I did my graduation in science from Indore. And then I've been running a business of finance and real estate investments at Indore. In the year 2005 to 8, I was in the ODA committee. And then from 2008 to 11, I was the ODA secretary. As the ODA secretary, we took a lot of initiatives to make it more vibrant. And some of those initiatives where we introduced the Royal Cooking Food Festival, we introduced the ODA website, we had the ODA ID card reintroduced at that point of time. We donated the ODA skating rink to the school and a lot of other activities which made it more active and vibrant. The ODA fraternity got together a lot more after that. I mean, they've been active even before that, but there was more opportunities to them to get together. After that, I was a secretary at the Yashul Club Indore, which is a social club at Indore where you have 4,500 family members. And there I've been active and been able to do things win time, able to execute all our goals within the stipulated time, use my administrative abilities to execute them. After that, I've been active at the ODA fraternity as well. And now I'm here for the ODA, the board elections, and I wish you a very happy Diwali in advance.
I think that leads me to our next question. From what we have heard so far, it's very apparent that you all are very successful in the line of profession you're doing. You are participating in social activities and all of that. But with all of that, why did you decide to stand in these elections? I think Sandeep will start with you.
With immense gratitude towards our alma mater, I always wanted to serve the institution where we are all what we are today because of our alma mater. So we wanted to serve our institution to the best of our abilities, and that is the most compelling reason why I'm here. Over the years, I've been actively interested in the activities of the Old Alien Association. I'm a result-oriented person, and therefore I believe in working within the given time to achieve our targets. I believe that our tenure is for a period of 5 years, so we should be able to achieve all our goals, whatever we are committing, whatever we have, our vision is, we should be able to achieve in a span of 5 years. That's our tenure, and that is what we intend to commit ourselves for. I'm sure we all agree that change is very necessary for any organization. And along with change, transparency is very important. So we believe, I believe that, okay, if I can contribute by way of putting in our vision in place, we would be able to make a difference in the school, in the working of the school. And that is where it further enhanced our reason to be a part of this. I must thank about 16 old Board of Governors in the past 2018. They all got together and they had a meeting where they expressed a lot of concerns about how the functioning of the school was. And there were a lot of concerns which were not addressed ever since then. And since then, we've been actively participating in the process that a lot needs to be attended. And a lot of decisions which were taken at those periods, in that period of time, like the Delhi College University, the Delhi College Day School, and so many, the ranking going down, there were concerns which compelled us to take a more interest in the process. And we believe like a lot of potential is there in our institution. So we thought we can really contribute by our personal presence, by our administrative abilities. We can put in a lot of effort to develop things that school can be, since it has a lot of potential, we can put in a lot of efforts to develop the whole system there. And this is where we feel that I could participate. So I said I'll be a candidate for the process, for the post. Basically, the whole concern was there were a lot of issues which were happening there, and we thought there should be a democratic process to the in any organization. If you have a democratic process of election of members, it always gives a sense of responsibility. You come with a lot of commitments. You come with a lot of you come with a vision, and you want to execute that vision because you come through an electoral process. And every democratic process gives strength to the institution. This is what I believe very strongly in. So we said the last election took place in 2005, which was the process which took. In 2010, again, the elections were announced, but the process was settled. And in 2015, only in one category, the election took place. I mean, they were announced, but
Time
the
up.
process was done in only one category.
David, do you want to go next?
So, Delhi College is a 150-year-old glorious school. It has been a co-ed school. And where in the world now we have about 50% of the population which is women. Surprisingly, being a co-ed school of 150 years of age, it does not have a woman on board ever since, which compelled me to the idea that why should not there be a woman on the board and an elected candidate, which is a challenge because I personally feel a challenge is something that I would like to take head on. So I accepted the challenge, and it's high time that we woke up to the fact that a woman should be there on the board, with the fact that the school has almost about 35% of the girls students are there now. The population has increased because when we were students, there was hardly 2 girls in our class. But now the population is almost 35 and more. And of the teacher staff, which is about almost 70% of the teacher staff are females. Then of course we have the other third, fourth class staff also. And the ODA girls population is also increasing. So why should not this be a main issue to be addressed into a board when you are thinking about female being on the board? So that was one main reason why it was there. Of course, besides the point that yes, democracy, you in US are one of the world's biggest democracy. We in India are again one of the world's biggest democracy. So both of us are firm believers of the fact that democracy should prevail. And come to think of it, a US president also does not get more than 2 terms. So why should a board member of Delhi College should get more than 2 terms? So it's as fair and simple. So that is exactly what a reason is, that yes, democracy should prevail. Everybody should get an equal opportunity. We are people with, of course, firm ideologies, with firm determination. We have a vision, we have a path, we have a roadmap. It's a opportunity should be given to everybody and anybody. And when fresh people come, they bring fresh ideas. They have their own ways of working, and why not? So that is the reason why we chose to be like elections should happen. Fresh people should come with their new ideologies, because after all, the common denominator is only one, which is our school, the alma mater, and we have nothing to gain out of it. It
30
is only
seconds.
a selfless service that we have rendered to our society so far by all our endeavors, by all the service that we run. A library that I run, and the charity that I run, and innumerable charities that I run. My school is my commitment. It is my commitment to go back to school and serve my school with all the honesty, with all the determination. That is what I feel is my single motto to come back to school for the elections. Thank you again.
Neeraj?
My reason to contest the election is very clear. I would start with about our journey as a board member when we started in 2015. At that time, Delhi College was having one of the bad financial issues which were coming up. We were having a reserves of only 6.5 crores. And out of 6.5 crores, even 5 crores were deposited to the university account with the MP government. So practically we had in hand 1.5 crores. So from here, our challenges start. So when we went deep into the accounts, we came to know certain facts that basically Delhi College was earning a profitability of 33 lakhs on an average of last 5 years. And this profitability was dipping or was not on a good terms because of certain policies. I would count three major policies. One, the purchase policy which was maintained was majorly three quotation systems, wherein the purchases was being made by either three parties without any open tenders. One. Point number two, the inward registers was being maintained, but the consumptions and all accounting systems were not being taking place. Number three, no open tenders were being followed even in construction side. So we as a board, I and Devraj are not an individual personality. We as a board comprises of 9 people, wherein Rajmata Saab, Devas, who was our president, she was the lady president in our tenure. Then we had Srimati Jyoti Agrawal, who was the board member there. And the whole board was comprises of lot of people who participated in the process. With this process only and putting everything in place, the profitability jumped to 12 crores in the first year. Second year, sorry. First year it was 6 crores. Then last year profitability was 18.5 crores, despite of not increasing that fee. So financially, we have been into a very good position. From 1 crore, now we are 71 crores minus all liabilities. This is one part. Secondly, what we could do, we could employ few agencies and people in place, Deloitte and everything, wherein we are getting certain master plans being made for 5 years and 10 years down the line. So we have put lot of effort and identified lot of gray areas where we need to work on. Basically, all those gray areas has been identified and we have started working. Like in boarding houses, we have started putting a lot of money to get that boarding stature back.
30 seconds.
So half work is done, the journey has begun, and it would take more time to actually rebuild all those things. So that's the reason I want to complete my vision. We as a board want to work on the line what we have thought for. Thank you.
Awesome. Devraj?
Yeah, Gaurav. The last 5 years, as Dheeraj spoke about the finances, why I am standing for re-election is basically we've taken a journey and we want to complete it as a team, as a board. In the last 5 years, we really worked on the academics. With the new principal coming in, there was a lot of effort in the faculty. This year, the 12th standards results were the best in the history of Delhi College. So in terms of academics, these 5 years, we took certain processes in terms of faculty, with the principal and the academics, we were able to achieve this kind of result. In terms of modernization of the classrooms, smart classrooms were introduced, student developments took place. Then in terms of upgradation of boarding houses, see, I was a boarder in Delhi College, and today I realized that you have boarders coming from all over the world, and the facilities at the boarding houses have to be top class. So last 3 years, we made an effort in terms of Vikram House, Ashok House, Rajendra House to give good bathrooms, beds, infrastructure, so that international, global student can be accommodated, he can feel comfortable, he can feel at home. So this is the effort we started. Rajendra House work has already been done. Vikram and Ashok's modernization from inside. We are not touching the buildings because these are heritage buildings, so we're preserving these heritage buildings. So that's the effort which has gone down into the boarding houses. In terms of upgradation of cricket ground, now we are registered with the BCCI, so we can actually have rugby trophy matches being played at Delhi College, and the students, imagine, will get exposure to get, probably national cricketers coming in and playing at Delhi College. So that's the kind of infrastructure development which we took place in cricket itself. Sport is an effort that we probably want to do an international level, so we are redoing the sport course to the international standards with glass back and other things. Sorry? So in terms of football, basketball, tennis, we have a lovely coach who's also the coach of the under-19 girls team. He's been a huge help. Balls we're trying to introduce this coming year in 2021. The main building, there was a restoration happened to the main building. It looks gorgeous now. It is as beautiful as it can get.
30 seconds.
In terms of the ratio of boys to girls, in the last 5 years, we made an effort actually to get it to almost 37%. And in terms of security is a major concern with all the parents and with the girls in the boarding houses. We've done a 24-hour surveillance, so the girls and the boys at the boarding and also the day schools are comfortable. So there are a lot of things that we've undertaken in the last 5 years. And there's a vision which we will speak later once we get an opportunity, how that we want to take the school forward. Over to you, Gaurav.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. So just a request for everybody, if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. We've got a lot of folks on the call now. And thank you for candidates for answering that question. So, and for the folks in the US, the candidates have floated around their vision document. Please take a look at that. There's a lot of good information in those documents for you to review. So the question is, we got the document, right? It had a lot of information on it. But if you have to summarize, what's your vision after being elected? What would that be? So start with Divya this time. And maybe you want to share your vision once you get elected.
So let me tell you one thing, that all non-family owned schools all over the country or probably all over the world have one board and then they have one society. Okay? So the board is comprising of a very small nucleus, a quorum. Whereas the society is a larger group of say about even 100 people. So like all good schools like a Doon school or a Mayo or any other major schools all over the country or all over the world have a larger society. Now this society comprises of probably the old aliens, probably the old school students, as well as other few eminent members who are invited on the society. Now, the board is answerable to the society, and this society also gives a reason and a platform for the old students to be a check and balance to the board as well. So, a daily college has a board, but it does not have a society. Therefore, I would want to have a larger society for daily college where we could even propose a 50 or 100 odd members. We have a in huge population of old aliens who have been achievers, who are literati by themselves, and they could be a part of the a larger society, and they would remain connected to the school, and they would be of course a check and balance to the for the board as well. And that's a very nice democratic way of taking the school forward. That's one that I propose to. Two is a very intent youth leadership program. We have a very huge variety. We have a person today of probably the age of bracket of probably 65 batch, 70 batch, an 82, and then we have a 2020 batch. Where is the connect? So there is no connect between all these people. So therefore, I would appreciate if we could create a youth wing of an old alien so that the initial 5 years probably of the pass outs could create a youth leadership, a youth exchange program, a leadership program, and that's how we want to create something which is a more young old platform for the old aliens. Another thing that I would like to propose is something like called as a mentorship program. You know, we have again a group of probably a lot of architects, software engineers. We have personnel in the civil services. We have personnel in the armed forces. And recently I came to know that now that we have so many other branches, so I know that there's one girl who wants to become a music composer. Do we have more people in those fields who could be the mentors to these young budding people? And therefore we could have a connect to all these young students who just passed out, for the seniors who are there, who could then become their mentors, take them forward. And why do not I invite these literati old aliens back to the school to become the actual role models for the aliens in the school itself? Why should not they be brought to the school as chief guests, as motivational speakers, as people who could motivate these young students to be a part of the entire program? So this is what I really feel is a lot of disconnect and a connect where there is a lot of potential, bridges can be made, and old aliens can come back to school and become mentors to the. I also propose to have a volunteer program. Maybe this people who were old aliens would want to come back and become volunteers for at least some time. Maybe week, 15 days, 1 month, how much time they have up their sleeve. They can come back. We'll create a volunteer program for them so that again they can come back and stay in the school, become a child again, feel those old memories coming back to them, the temple to mosque run, having the beautiful samosas, and again feeling the wonderful trees, counting the birds. We have a huge bird sanctuary, the peacocks running around. Coming back to school would be a wonderful feeling. So volunteer program is something that we would really want to initiate. Also, don't forget, I am being a woman, my two beautiful daughters who have been old aliens, who have been achievers by themselves. My daughter sitting here is a PhD by herself, strong value system. My younger daughter, who's been an eminent sports player, a squash player, international squash player, represented the country, strong value system there. My son, who has been a soccer captain, represented again the country in soccer. So with firm value system of the daily college inculcated into the children, I would want to have women looking forward for their safety, their self-confidence, preparing them for the future. This is what I really dream of as Delhi College today, and further down 5 years, 10 years down the line. This is what I dream of Delhi College as of now. Thank you.
These daily college samosas have a lot of fond memories, so I can relate.
Yeah, that's why.
Dheeraj, do you want to go next?
So, our vision for Delhi College in near future is coming up with first vision would be to complete our unremaining tasks, unfilled tasks, which are in process. There are projects worth 42 crores and 26 crores in pipeline, which are already taking place. Like horse riding is in place, golf is already in place. Horse riding is supposed to be up by 2020 end, that is December. Golf would be in process by 2021. So first we need to complete all these projects, boarding houses and everything. Secondly, we are mostly focusing on creating a boarding atmosphere. So the facilities are there. We need to market it well so that we get a diversified students. So our process would be creating a fund wherein we can offer a lot of scholarships for the people throughout different backgrounds, maybe defense, maybe good sport people, maybe from all the corners, so that we have a good mix of students with us, number one. Number two, we are looking at creating an IB facility so that our people are getting an exposure of IB curriculum. Number three, we are looking at no campus, green campus, that no cars are being allowed there. So the process of parking area is being designed so that a complete secure campus is in place. We are looking at lot of development in terms of basic infrastructure, that is in terms of squash courts, which are coming up. 6 new squash courts are coming up, all glass ones. We are looking at world-class badminton facility, which is supposed to be there. Then we are planning to have basically, I would say, indoor games arena, because what generally happens in terms when you have showers and rains, students miss on games, which we are focused that they should not miss on those lines. Apart from it, we have started focusing more on team sports rather than individual sports. So lot of emphasis is being, we want to give it on them. We want to go basically to our old heritage systems of athletics and build the culture with the students, with their souls and everything. We want them to come up. So a lot of work being happening on that ground. So that is what we want to carry forward with the vision, and make Delhi College more stronger and more on an international platform. Related to rankings and everything, I would say we have not participated in any kind of ranking earlier. The basic reason behind was we were being compared with the Daycom boarding school, and we didn't wanted to be part of that ranking, so we didn't submitted any of our data. And finally, we have participated in the boarding ranking system and we have submitted our data. And I would be happy to share with you that yesterday itself, we received the communication from the education world that we are rated number 3 in the country in the boarding school arena, for your information. And this soon would be shared with all the old aliens once they allow us to do that. But for your information, this is what we have been looking, and we have been progressing ahead on those lines.
Yes. So it's your turn to respond on the question about what's your vision after being.
Right. Gaurav, these last 5 years, what we did was we needed to consolidate the school in terms of finance. For any organization to run successfully and to flourish, you need finances. So as we were young, Dheeraj and me, and also the board, we consolidated in terms of our policies, in terms of getting systems in place. And as Dheeraj explained you earlier, he's the guy who understands finance much better than I do. So we were able to create these reserves. And rather than spending them probably, in fits and start, we decided to have a proper plan that, the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, there should be a proper way of progress in terms of school. So, so initially we started focusing on the academics and also uplifting the boarding. What we want is there should be a very good balance between the boarders and day boarders. Previously, last 10-15 years, it so happened that the day boarders became a huge strength and the boarding strength went down. So the effort has been to get it to a great balance in terms of the strength of boarders and day boarders, so that it's a good balance. Um, going ahead, we want to introduce the IB curriculum. That's the future of education. It's more progressive in terms of self-study. There's a lot of research you need to do. We've been training the faculty, and IB will give us the opportunity for our faculty to go under training in the IB curriculum, so that they become much more aware of what actually is happening in this world. In terms of sports, as I mentioned earlier, Delhi College has always been a sporting school, but with the Scotch coming in, with introduction of golf, with the introduction of now horse riding, there'll be multiple sports which will be introduced. Personally, I used to love playing hockey at Delhi College, and it's obviously the national sport. So we want to give, we want to probably have the AstroTurf now at Delhi College, so that our kids can be exposed to the international way of playing hockey. In terms of staff training, I think for any school, the faculty is the most important part. So a lot of effort would be going into the faculty training in terms of their exchanges, their exposure, their seminars. So this is what the board and the principal wants to do with the faculty. Artificial intelligence has become one of the most important, stream now in world education. That needs to be introduced at Delhi College. That's what we are wanting to do. In terms of environment, we were able to plant 53 saplings, and they luckily I think 99% have survived. So we want to be the zero carbon school in the country. We've said no to plastics. There's been recycling of waste. In terms of, as Dheeraj said, that we want the vehicles to completely stop coming to the campus. We've identified one area where all the buses can come and all the vehicles can come, and people have to walk around the campus. So that's what we want to do with in terms of environment or the school. In terms of infrastructure, the junior school building really needs a revamp. It's been an old building, so we want to get a building which is in tune with the main building. So this is what we plan the next 2 years. We want to have a really nice, beautiful infrastructure for the junior school as well, because that is the base for any student.
30 seconds.
We also want to introduce the food consultant. Food's become a very, very important part for the child who's growing up. So, in terms of nutrition, in terms of food, if you have a good food consultant, it will make a huge difference in the growth of a student and a child. So there are a lot of things that I can keep going on, because I'm so passionate about education in Delhi College. I'm sure everybody loves Delhi College, but there's so much to do. In the course of time, actually, when I get more opportunity, I'll try to do and speak whatever is there on paper.
Awesome. Sandeep?
Yeah. See, our vision is basically for every child who's studying in Delhi College. Our focus would be on how we want that child to be. We want that child to be very motivated, intellectually curious, very confident, and very able to face the challenges which he's going to face tomorrow when he comes out of the school. Because trained, he should be skilled enough to face those challenges. He should be ready to take, he should be encouraged to take innovations, and he should be geared up for the challenges which are going to come when he comes out of the school. This primary objective with which we'll work on the process. Well, how we do is, first of all, we'll have a very strong on governance. That is, the board should only make policies. They should monitor the policies, that the administration of the school should execute those policies. If they do well, you reward them. If they don't do well, you have to take to task. So end of the day, the board's job is to basically monitor and observe the governance, do the governance of those policies which they have drafted for the school. Now, how do you make a good policy? Since you are not an educationist, you appoint an international consultancy firm, take a 5-year plan from them for a robust education, sports, and all like affiliated issues of the school. Take a policy from them, make a draft for roadmap for 5 years for them, and work on those draft for 5 years. Now, in terms of what a child needs at the school, he needs a good environment, he needs a good exposure. For a good exposure, he needs to have a good boarding and day boarding combination. Here, the boarders have reduced a lot. So the boarders were the ones who were bringing in different variety. It was a mixed blend of people coming from all over the country. So it was giving a very competitive environment in the school. People were coming, the children used to live with people from different backgrounds, different societies, different cultures, and it used to be a very good exposure for them. We need to increase the international exposure. We need to have the round square activities. We need to have internationalism should increase so that the exposure which a child was getting, because tomorrow when he goes out of the school, he goes into the international arena, he's very easy to merge into that society if he is exposed. He knows the way the world works. He'll be much more exposed, he'll be much more educated, he'll be much more, like if you have a better percentage of boarders and day boarders, you have a better international exposure, the exposure to a child is much more higher. Now, in terms of sports, I mean, when we're talking of our school has a decent infrastructure, but we are not able to do something which the children have a potential. What is missing is a good coaching staff. We must have national level coaches. We must have a support system, like there should be a physiotherapist, there should be a nutritionist for them, there should be a complete package for a sports boy or a girl who wants to pursue any sports. Then it should be focused to that particular sport, his exercise, his food habits, everything should be given to him if he is wanting to make into an international arena or a national scale sportsman. So we should have, since we have the infrastructure, what we need to provide them is the support system, which is the coaches, the training equipments, the physiotherapist, the nutritionist, and a complete package of whatever is required to excel in that sport.
30 seconds.
In terms of education, we need to have standards set for good teachers, quality teachers. We believe if the school is generating funds or if it's making like saving money, it should be reinvested into the school. It should be reinvested into the infrastructure of the school. It should be reinvested into sports facilities or facilities where value addition takes place in that particular child. What is the point of raising funds, not paying salary to our staff? The staff currently was not paid, so the MP High Court had to intervene into the matters. I mean, that should not be the process. We should, as a board, we should be very focused that no, if you have generated funds, they should be taken care of, and there should be a planned expenditure. We should have a master plan for next 5 years, 10 years, so that we can work on those. And if you need funds, you generate them. Once you have the plan, you will need funds. Don't generate funds before. I'm sorry, I'll just take 2 minutes. And we need to have a vertical on every sport. Like we need to have a very strong vertical in sports, academics, arts. Every field should have a very strong vertical where they take care of their own area of domain and where you can perform. They are responsible for that performance in that domain. So you are able to decentralize the whole process where performance is increased. We must encourage our children to go in for like good, like world-class institutions. They should be able to go for administrative services, defense services. I mean, we should have a resource center where we can guide them, where we can train them, we can support them in their career path. So this is what, I mean, we believe that we must focus on the development of school, development of child, and where we want our children to be tomorrow, and work on the reverse process for what we target our children to be tomorrow.
The next question is the last question for the first segment, and maybe could be the difficult question for you. So we have heard you've got great visions as a team, as an individual, and this is a 1-minute question. So what happens if you're selected individually from each team? Will you be able to work with each other in that scenario? So we'll start with Dheeraj this time.
I would say at the end of the day, we are all old Indians. If we get elect, definitely in the interest of the school, everybody would work. I don't have any doubts about that. Secondly, when you work with the same thought processes, it definitely helps. And board is not of any two people; it comprises of 9 people. So ultimately, you have to work as a 9 as a team. So finally, it's not if I get elected, or Devraj gets elected, or both of us elected. We have to work as a board that is of 9 people, along with the principal and the staff. That's it. That's my take on it.
Raj?
Yeah. So once whoever is elected, be it Divya Gupta ma'am or Sandeep Bhaiya or Dheeraj or me, we'll be a part of a team of 9 members, as Dheeraj had said. We'll all be a part of that team, and once you're in the team, then everybody plays for the team. It's never individuals. So whoever comes to Delhi College will work in the best interest of the school.
Sandeep?
See, I believe you have to take all stakeholders into confidence, which is your board, the principal, the students, the faculty, and the parents. And you work in cohesion with the whole set of people who have a stake in the school. And it is going to work much better. Whosoever 9 people are, they have to, the common goal is to have the institution work better. Institution should function better. Children should be given good education. They should not be they should not be compromised. So, I mean, the whole objective of whosoever those 9 are, they have to deliver in the interest of the school. And that is what we would, whosoever gets elected should do that and work in the interest of the school and work in concurrence with all the stakeholders who are there for that in that project.
Yeah. Divya?
So, being the only woman around, I would want them to think about women first in a positive manner. So, all jokes apart, yes. The good part would be that the manifestos would merge. We'll take the best points from either all the manifestos and we'll take it forward. The tasks that have not been accomplished have to be accomplished, but my only goal when I say that for any educational institution, it is a non-profit organization. We do not want to look at an educational institution as a profit organization, as something that you have financial reserves for. The reserves are only meant for the benefit of the student, of the staff, of the school, whether it be infrastructure, whether it be a human resource, whether it be anything else. So my first and foremost say to all these, Dheeraj is like a brother to me, Devraj has always been my friend, my junior, so they'll remain like that. Election is one process where we are at daggerheads with each other. That's the pass of the electoral process. Doesn't matter. By the end of the day, we'll all hug each other and say a warm hi to each other, and then we'll go ahead with whatever we want to achieve. By the end of the day, it's our own beloved Delhi College that matters the most.
So from here, we move on to the next segment. That's the king question. And just to repeat, this will be one question for the team, and you can choose who's gonna respond to that question. You get 3 minutes, and the second member of the team gets 1 minute to follow. And now you can choose if you want to separate 2 minutes between each other. So we'll start with Devraj and Dheeraj. The question is, this is something Sandeep also kind of touched upon, and I think all of these speakers is, we've got great facilities in Delhi College, be it sports, be it education. We've got some of the finest teachers as well. But what are your plans for our students or students to show their capabilities in these state and national arenas in both education plus also sports? And mainly sports, because as everybody's saying, we are a sport-centric institution. We have some great sportsmen, but then we don't see them shine at the state and the national level. Maybe if they have, we haven't seen them a lot. So what can we do as part of the school to support that process so that they can be successful in future?
So Gaurav, very interesting question, but I like to just express what we've achieved in terms of sports. We had almost 200 people, kids, children and students participating in the nationals. That's a huge number. There's a student, Mahek Jain, who is an international tennis player who participated in the Wimbledon, Junior Wimbledon. We have national shooters. In terms of tennis, we've done fantastically well. In terms of shooting, the girls have been unbelievable. One area which we all as Indians love cricket. So with this ground of Scindia Pavilion and Hanuman being refurbished, I'm sure cricket will also, Sandeep, who's our host, they used to be a great cricketer, I remember. So cricket is one area we actually really need to work on. And soccer, the soccer team has done phenomenally well in the IPSC. Squash has been Delhi College one of the most, passionate sport for all Dalians. Squash with these new coach and with an international coach, I'm sure the squash should be we produce international athletes. So sports we've really done well in the last 5 years, and definitely there's a lot of scope to do much more. And with the kind of international coaches now with the reserves, we will be able to get international athletes and sportsmen coming into the school, and which will be a huge exposure for our students. Over to you, Gaurav.
Dheeraj, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would definitely. We were talking about physiotherapy, giving it to all the sports people. I would like to inform you that we have a specific department for physiotherapy there. And in all the processes, in every games, we have an individual physiotherapist present at the time of the sports, number one. Number two, the first time ever after a long time, all the teachers, they are playing sports with the students to develop that relationship between them and to encourage them. They are on the ground, they are there. Number three, 70 medals in IPSC in swimming alone. Apart from it, Sainik Bandukala representing shooting in the world championship. You have got n numbers of, you name it, 40 lakh scholarships to few sports people from Khelo India. You have got Sudipta Hegel, who has got President's Award in terms of other things. As a board, we have always promoted in terms of their finances, in terms of their helping, their going abroad, or any kind of help they have come to the board. We have always, as a board, and apart from it, there are 100% scholarships. There are scholarship programs for the various sports people. We have got lot of new talent in place, and everybody's performing. In IPSC, we have ruled out in tennis, in most of the sports, and
1 minute.
everything is available on the website of Delhi College. I would request you to please go through it so that you can have actually what Delhi College has been doing throughout the things in sports. One last thing to mention, that we restarted Kishanganj Shield, and we were the winners this time.
See, I would put it as, what they see, they have facilities are there, children have the potential. These two things are very static. They are there. What is missing is the coaching, the training equipments, the support system, their exposure to national arena, their exposure to national coaches. We must have a lot of national coaches coming to school, giving them good training, giving them good exposure. Like you have a person coming in from maybe a sports academy. He comes in, he teaches you whatever the sport is. Like if you can call from badminton courts, you can call from Scotch federations, you can call from BCCI. And every sport, there are academies. You can call from national sports academies. You can call those coaches. They can have a good training session. And we have the facilities. We have the children with potential. It can just be guided around, and they can really deliver. Along with this, what you need is, today is a very professional sport. You can't be doing PT for you need to have an exercise for your particular sport. If I want to be a football player, I need particular muscles to be strengthened. So I should have my exercises targeted to that particular sport. So it should be a very targeted, very focused guidance to their children, so that they can excel. Tomorrow, if I play on this clay course, I'm out once I'm out of the school. It doesn't take me anywhere, because you have all national hockey matches on AstroTurf. We have the resources. We should have had it by now. So that, why lose those 5 years? Because children who have been studying there, we had the resources. We should have implanted those things in time, so that those 5 years are not wasted for children who have passed out in the last 5 years from the school. They would have been benefited. If we have the resources, we should have reinvested into the infrastructure of sports, or into the education. You could have good, like from cricket academy, you can call good teachers and I mean coaches. They can come and train you for. I mean, they have a coach for everything now. You have a coach for bowling coach, you have a fielding coach, you have a batting coach. So I mean, you have to have a focused
Sure.
coaching center. Like it cannot be just same person doing everything. I mean, once you want to excel in a sport, you need a very focused coaching.
I would also like to add on to this is that the fact that sports medicine is something which is a very, very important branch these days. Me being a doctor, me being a parent to three children who have always been extensively participating in their sports, I feel that a sports medicine doctor should also be appointed to in the school who will take care of all these activities once the child gets injured, has some kind of an injury and that needs to be taken care of. So physiotherapy is yes one part, but sports medicine is also a very important part. And as we're talking of a nutritionist, I'm sorry to say, but all these things which could have been done earlier, why are being they said now? They should have been implemented much, much earlier when they are saying that we have to have a food nutritionist on the program. Why now? Why was it not implemented earlier? So
1
my
minute
thing
to
is,
go.
yes, yeah. So my thing is that a sports medicine person also needs to be appointed, and of course a counselor, a mental counselor also needs to be appointed as a resource person in a resource center, because for people to compete, you need to have a very good counselor behind you to keep you motivated, to keep your morals high, to take you forward on for that competitive world, which is a very cutthroat competition. Once you lose, you do get motivated. But then if you have a counselor around, you need to have that push. So these kind of activities need to be really promoted when you are a child, when you need that push for your career guidance. So this is something that I really look forward to in a school, which is a holistic approach towards the sport, not just an individual focused, just that we have a field, that's it. No, it has to be a very, very, now we are into an arena where everything needs to be looked forward to.
Perfect. So
Thank you.
The next question is also a 4-minute question, same concept. The question is, and this is more for folks who relevant to folks here in the US. So the question is, how do you think you can make it possible for alumni's children in the US, in case they wish to have their children exposed to Indian culture and education during school breaks in the US?
Who is it? Who needs to answer it first?
For you, Divyan Sandeep.
Okay, so I'll take it forward. As I already introduced into my statement that I need to take this as a volunteer program. So for the children of the old aliens, I would want to introduce the volunteer program in case they would want to come back. As parent, you would want to have your child go back to your school, be a part of that curriculum. So please come back. Please, let's create this volunteer program, one-to-one connect, because this is that one international platform that the children will get benefited. We need to exchange these value systems that India has, which we are very proud of. And you would want to share that with these children there who are studying in US. Language is something which is very important. Food is another very, very important thing. And of course, connect to the society, back to your homeland, back to your soil is something that your children would look forward to and you would want to. And this is what we really want to promote. So please, I would really appreciate if your children, if anybody would want to come and study, be a part of the boarding school. We would like to give you a very safe environment and would want to share all those beautiful facilities of the school and then learn to be a part of this beautiful alma mater. I think you would like to add something?
No. See, what I believe is, what is internationalism? That is what we are talking about. These children can come to India, they can have an exposure to it could be the vice versa. The Indian children getting exposure to the international students, the same way the international students getting exposure to the Indian culture, the Indian systems, the Indian, festivals. Once they come, they will really see it by themselves, stay with it. And once they stay in it, they will really be able to understand it much better, and that opportunity should always be given to those children who are coming in from, the old aliens children coming into Indore, Delhi College for this
1
program.
minute to go.
We're done. I think I've said it all. I think as I initially opened my statement that it is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, it says that yes, we want to come back to our roots. And it is the beautiful feeling when you come back to your home. So it's like, we'll call it homecoming. So let's make a homecoming program for you as those who are in US, for your children to be a part of the daily. It would be a lovely experience. And as of course, few families here would be their local guardians, which again would be a beautiful connect to the students who are coming, to the children who are coming. And you will be safe. You'll be feeling very, very safe.
Neeraj and Devraj, same question.
Can you please repeat the question so that we can be specific to the yeah.
So the question was, being on the board, how do you think you can make it possible for alumni's children in the US, in case they wish to have their children exposed to Indian culture and education during their school breaks in the US?
Right. So can I address this, Devraj Dada?
Please go ahead.
Basically, we have a program wherein a lot of people coming from US, they understand Sanskrit. They do come to India. They are part of that program. They understand Sanskrit here. They are being taught Hindi and everything is being done. There is, in terms of internationalism, I would like to add on one thing, that it's almost in Round Square, we have doubled up the activities as compared to last 5 years of us. So in terms of exchange, in terms of Round Square, we have doubled up. Only thing is that we have stopped AFA. So what we can do, we can formulate a program where the teachers here can address online certain value systems about the culture, about Indian culture, about the Hindi, about the systems, the values, the core strengths in association, wherein your US chapter has to take an active role along with the ODA association here and can act as a bridge, and we can specifically come up with a program. That's a beautiful idea, because then they would be more closer to the culture and the root of India. So definitely it's a fantastic idea, and we would love to do that if it comes up in a way, and we can formulate a very decent program wherein teachers would be a part of it, few parents can be a part of it, and it would add the connectability of US people. And over a period of the time, if they would like, I would urge they should send their kids to the boarding in Delhi College, and we would like to have them here, and would love that they have their education with us. So that would be wonderful. That's my take on it. Radha, you would like to add something?
Yeah, sure.
1 minute to go.
So, yeah. So, Gaurav, very well raised question. We would love to have all old aliens in the US, their kids back at Delhi College. But practically it becomes difficult. One of my closest friends lives in America, Rajiv Soval, and he was very keen for his daughter to come back. So what we did was we experimented. We requested the principal. She was there for about 3 months. She could get the feel of the school. She was able to, she was able to grasp the culture, the food, the boarding environment. So this can also be tried, getting old aliens from probably America or UK or probably from Singapore. They can come for a 3-month or a 2-month program. So they're exposed to the culture and the education of India, Indore and Delhi College. And if they're happy in this, and they feel safe and they blossom in this environment, then they can continue. So definitely, Gaurav, we can we can think at the in our board meeting, we can discuss this with the principal, how to start a program where an exchange can happen between the old aliens living abroad and the kids can be brought here. If they feel good, if they are able to progress, succeed, then they stay on and take on their education at the Delhi College. So we would be more than happy if something like this happens.
Awesome. Yeah, and maybe that's something I can add to is one thing that becomes very difficult for us to explain to our kids is what is Delhi College. They look at the picture, first reaction is that it's a 4 for them, and then that's about it, because schools over here are different. And then in my example is, when I explain that to my niece, she's totally confused on what's happening. And then I had to take her to daily college to show the magnitude of the school, and it's a bigger process to explain. So if we can do something on that one, I think that will be very well received.
So we can definitely go with certain programs wherein online from daily college and with US chapter and ODA can formulate a program where certain online studies about Shastra, about Hindu mythology or something can be read, and storytelling or something, so that that connect starts building between them. Something like that.
Awesome. Okay. Let's move on to the next question, and we'll start with Devraj and Dheeraj. This is a 2-minute question, and this is around. We've heard that a lot of international companies are being hired to prepare a roadmap plan to give us a plan on how to go forward from here. The question is, what will be your measure to evaluate those roadmaps that are submitted by these companies? What will be your decision making process? Are you going to hire any advisors or take advice from academicians to make an informed decision, or question the roadmap that you're being submitted?
Okay, so we can I go first, Dheeraj? Is that okay, or you
Yeah,
want to
sure,
speak
Dada.
first?
No, please, you go ahead, Dada.
Okay. So Gaurav, what we did was last year, or this year, sorry, this year we started around January. We started taking, you know, we requested KPMG, Deloitte, and few more international agencies to come and you know, come and do a research for us. In terms of, see, there are 4 stakeholders. First, the students, the faculty, the parents, and the board. So at the board, we discussed that all 4 stakeholders should be asked what their views are about education, sports, food, multiple other things, and how do we take it forward. So they in turn are now actually researching in terms of international exposure, sports, food, safety, security. So all of them are going to, in fact, give us a plan. Obviously, academicians and top educationists in the world are going to be consulted, and then put this on the table, and then the board will take a collective decision on what their vision is, with the help of all 4 stakeholders, namely the faculty, including the principal, the board, the parents, and the students, and also the old aliens. The fifth most important part, the old aliens. So this process has already started, and I'm sure it's a matter of time. And once the new board is formed, with the help of and suggestions of these people, one of the agencies can be finalized if they find that this whole whatever they're suggesting is can be implemented, it is practical, and it is
30
it
seconds.
is the expectation for the next generation. Over to you, Gaurav.
Perfect. Sandeep and Divya, same question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. See, I think what we're trying to take is an advice on what we can do. How we do is, like, we have verticals for every field. Like, you have an academician, you have for arts, you have for sports. Have a vertical, have a people, a professional there who takes care of implementing those decisions. Because, I mean, once you have a guidelines, it has to be very well executed. And that for execution, you need to have a proper decentralized system of operations. I mean, it cannot be function that one particular person can take care of the whole execution. So you need to have a proper channel to execute those operations. I mean, whatever the opinions are received from them. And the board is supposed to just monitor those executions. I mean, if it is working in line with what has been decided, what has been formed, the board should just monitor those executions. But more, the job of board is to create a team, create a due diligence, decentralized verticals where every head takes care of his field of operation. And once you have those things in place, I mean, it automatically starts functioning much better. So your taking opinion will help you if you have a proper channel to execute that opinion in the school.
My take on this would be, as per the team, as we have been discussing, that first and foremost, this should have been done much earlier. Besides the financial audit, which has to be done by an international agency, because we firmly believe in transparency, which should have been done much earlier, and therefore we should have taken an advice on the fact that now we need to have a roadmap for the next 5 years, 10 years down the line. My humble request here would be that why was this not implemented? One. Two, now why are we looking at it now? Two is the fact that everything in a school or any institution is a teamwork. So far, we need to have
30
beautiful,
seconds.
wonderful academicians in the country who should be brought to look after the academics. We have sports people to come, form a committee, look after only for the sports. We need to have people who will come, make a committee, form only part looking at the human resource, HR. So all these things need to be roped in into one stream and then a head over it, which coordinates between all of these together. This is exactly what is to be done. A social audit is very important besides a financial audit. A social audit should be the key bottom line thing to any institution rather than anything else. So that is a first and foremost vision that we look forward to.
Can I?
Yeah, good.
The whole process which was being done is completely with a vision that all the stakeholders taking in place wherein they have got a specific education wing. This Deloitte, like we were talking to Deloitte or PwC and other people, they had specific education wings which deal in all the aspects. They have done this audits for Doon and everything. So the complete lot of thought processes and everything is involved into it on the different aspects, that what an old Indian wants, what basically a parent wants, what the teachers look at, and what the students want. So they have to come up with all those things along with the education which is in place internationally and nationally on a national level, and putting everything combined together and coming up with a specific plan with identifying a roadmap and giving it to you a gray area, and what is our vision and where we are looking at to reach. So all those exercises are being done in that order, and we evaluate with the history of that particular agency who has been doing it, that what they have performed in the past for other things and what are the results they have been doing. So there's lot of thought processes, lot of knowledge, lot of time taking is being done in that line. So definitely board as a whole put their mind into it and they evaluate, and finally we have reached to a conclusion where we are going ahead in that direction. That's what I mean to say.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the last question for this segment is, you shared your background and you all are doing very well in professionally, also socially, but then also you've got family as well, right? So that typically keeps a schedule busy. And with all these things going on, how do you assure us that there'll be no conflict of interest, first thing, while you're on the board, plus you can also give your 100% while you're on the board for daily college? So we'll start with Divya and Sandeep.
Conflict of interest regarding your profession?
Yes, I mean, if you're into education or if you're part of the board member of any school, then if that's the case, if there's any conflict of interest, or for that matter, any situation where your profession being on the board also takes the priority.
So the thing is that conflict of interest doesn't come here at all. Why is it? Because your priorities are always set for a particular thing. School is something that we are very passionate about. You know, when you have your passion-driven decisions, you always take out time for that. I already have a profession. I know that I have a profession. I have a commitment to my patients. I look after my patients every day. Still, I'm doing that. In spite of all the hectic schedule that I have to do every day, I still am looking after my patients. As for this is evening, late evening for us here, and tomorrow morning for me, I still have to operate. So I'm still, that is still a commitment. This is the commitment that I'm following. I'm still here talking to you in the most positive manner that I can. I have all the energy to do that. And everything is about time management. So now we know how to deal with that. The phone here, or probably my laptop here, is all something that I can deal with it anywhere, wherever I am, wherever across the globe that I go. So things are sorted out in a much, much better manner. So priorities we need to set. Family, of course, always is there with us. Without the support of our family, it's not possible that we would have come so far. So definitely family is always with us. Whereas I have an entrepreneur husband who's, so somebody asked me a question today, क्या आपने अपने पति से परमिशन ली थी ये करने के लिए? You know, how did your husband give you the permission to be a part of this? I said, मेरा husband मेरे को permission नहीं देगा. He's going to be there with me. So we are a woman of, one aggressive woman of our 21st, 22nd century, where I don't need a permission, I just need somebody to walk with me. So this is where our priorities are set. This is where our goals are set. This is where we are very defined in our roles. And as a mother, as a doctor, as a philanthropist, as somebody who's passionate about my school, I'm very, very hard driven. And that is what I know.
About me, I mean, definitely I consider conflict of interest would be a concern if I had a similar line of business activity. That definitely would be a cause of great concern if I was in the similar line of business or profession where education is concerned. So then there's a serious case of conflict of interest. I have two daughters, both are married, they're both settled in their own lives. My family is supporting me in this endeavor, and we are as a family together for this purpose. My wife is supportive in this process, and whatever is required, the time, the amount of exposure, I mean, it's all, we talked before we started this journey. So it's all in place. We are ready to commit ourselves, and we have the time and dedication for, and it's all because of our alma mater. I mean, we are whatever we are today because of our alma mater, and we want to do something for that. We want to give back to our society. We want to give back to our alma mater what we can in our best in the interest of the institution.
Here in Devraj.
Okay, so very one simple line, Gaurav. I or we or all of us love Daily College. So when you love something, you will prioritize it. So that's the answer.
Awesome. Dheeraj?
I would say we are one of the most approachable board, and we have been connected to all the old aliens irrespective of any time, place, and theory. One. Number two, we had the highest numbers of board meetings ever done in Delhi College. That shows our commitment toward the school and the time and the energy we have been giving there. Results are in front of you. I can assure you one thing very strongly. We would together as a team, as a board, whoever comes would definitely work in the interest of the school with full energy and enthusiasm. That's a commitment for sure.
Awesome. So that brings the end of the second segment, and I know we are running a little behind on our schedule, so we'll go right into the Q&A session. And we have our first question from Veer Pandey, but from the audience, if you have any questions, you can ask after this one, or if you're not pasted in the Zoom chat, that's fine as well. And also make sure who's that question for. So the question from Veer is, why do we need IB curriculum when that does not give any added advantage for US or Europe admissions to college, not in India? And I'm assuming that's question.
Question, please.
The question is, why do we need IB curriculum when that does not give any added advantage for admissions in US or Europe or any colleges not in India?
Why do we need an Ivy League curriculum?
For the current board.
I think the current board should reply.
All right. So, Gaurav, can I answer this, please?
Go ahead.
So, Gaurav, IB curriculum, why it is required? Because it's more about research. You know, the conservative way of education is the books, the teacher, but the IB curriculum involves a student to do research. He has to write his own paper, he has to research about that topic. There is a lot of learning actually which happens for the student in the IB curriculum. So also there's a lot of training which goes around for the faculty in terms of IB curriculum. So overall development of the faculty obviously proliferates into the students. So this is a very good way of education, and with the schools that I've traveled to or exposed to, the kids are much smarter. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of work you have to do on your own. So kids tend to learn much more in this curriculum. So it's not that we're going to close CBSE. We're going to give an option. So the CBSE will definitely be there, but people can choose between these two curriculums, the IB as well as the CBSE. Over to you, Gaurav.
Awesome. So it looks like we've got other questions coming in as well. And I'll read it as is. So this is from Sumit Sethi. The question is, student-teacher ratio is too high with so many of reserve. Why can we have more teachers in smaller classes? Why it's never thought about? Why we always talk about infrastructure and sport? I think that's for the current board members as well.
Dheeraj, do you want to answer that? Or
Yeah,
should I answer it?
If you please go ahead, Dada. You can answer it, or
No,
if you won't,
please, it's okay.
The student and teachers ratio has been very, very good now. In fact, there were 2,000 students when we came into the existence as a board member 2015, which was reduced to 1,650 now. So in fact, we have reduced and cut down on numbers of intakes, and we have reduced the students in order to improve this, and we are in the process of increasing it further. So that is there, that is happening. That was a concern, and we have formed a class of 23 students. So now currently the classes which were, if you talk about the recent batch which passed out in 2020, was 180 people. So we have reduced everything, and the current classes are now with only 23 students. So we have shrunk the numbers of students in the class and have made it better than before.
Awesome. The next question is from Mahima. The question is, all the board member candidates speak of what changes they want to make. What is the plan to survey the students and implement those changes? How can we make sure that the students' wishes are being met?
I would like to answer that first.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Not that it was primed. It's a very impromptu question, so let me just tell you that. So yes, I'm a firm believer of the fact that we need to have a very, very proactive student teacher or student board or student whatever interest in our mind. So career counseling is something that we really look forward to. Career counseling should be given to all the students in the school, because there are certain students who are at the bottom line, who are at the borderline, who probably do not really or probably cannot understand, cannot make a decision by themselves. They need to be guided to the fact that what kind of attitude they have. Do they really have a really fitted for this particular kind of job profile, or probably the aptitude that they have? They need to be addressed to. So this is something that I would want to really create as a very, very active, proactive kind of a center, which I said as a human resource center, where we'll have a very good career counseling facility available to that child. And therefore, they're able to take that decision. Whether it is for the interest of the child to go into even, there are now so many options open. Good old days, we had just one doctor, ladkiyan doctor banengi, ladke engineer banenge, aur uske baad the matter ended. So now we have innumerable windows that have opened up, and all those career options need to be shared to the child so that they can take a vocational training even starting from now. Maybe they would have a chapter which will give them a knowledge of the fact that, okay, now we can go ahead with this training as of now from the school, then go ahead and take it as a profession. So all these things need to be done very, very nicely, chiseling them towards their career in a very delicate, cohesive manner, pushing that child a little by little, baby steps by baby steps to the particular course, to the particular profession that they want to take. I remember as a mother giving exposure to my children. Like I remember when I was talking to my ma and I'd given her an exposure of nanotechnology. So remember that she took up nanotechnology as something so interesting. And then when she came to US, she probably took that as a first subject and then realized that, okay, nanotechnology was something that probably she did not really wanted to pursue. And then nuclear science came up her way. And that's how she wanted to take nuclear science and took up a PhD into it finally. So that exposure of a particular subject needs to be given to a child much earlier, and that needs to be taken when we talk about all these subjects to the child in the school. That is what I feel is a very, very interesting thing to be done. Give them as much of exposure and then let them come back to you. That is what I feel.
Devraj or Dheeraj, if you want to answer this question, if we've got
Yeah.
30 seconds, and then we'll wrap it up.
If I correctly understand, Mahima would like to know how the students are being able to. Mahima, could you please repeat the question? How their voice would be heard?
Yes,
If I'm right,
exactly. How are we planning to survey the students and understand?
Yeah. So, Mahima, I would like to answer you that basically what has happened, we have come up with student council, which was missing. So now the student council is in place in Delhi
Sorry,
College.
it wasn't missing. I was on it. It was there since I was on the student
After
council.
a while, Mahima, it was missing, and it was restarted 3 years back. I would tell you it's on the record. It was not there for a while, and 3 years back it was started back. And now the student council is taking lot of decisions in terms of food, in terms of activities, in terms of counseling. So a lot of counseling is coming. Around 60 universities came last year, being a part of it. There's a permanent counselor there in itself. There's a psychologist present in Delhi College. But students are the people now who are taking a major responsibility and roles in terms of policies, in terms of lot of things, and regular meetings are coming up, and lot of their participation is there for sure.
Can you give an example of a student decision that you guys implemented, a student request?
The major decision was the food decision. You are aware that lot of food things are always there. So what was happening in terms of food, there was a small incident that there was a break, and in break you hardly have a food at 11:30 or 12, and then you directly have at 2. You don't have a mid meal. So they wanted a mid meal. So that was one decision which was taken by that. Then they had a variety of foods. Then there was a decision where they took that the junior school wing, which was having a small only a bun or something, they started having a proper lunch system there. So in terms of activities, you talk about maybe sports. So A and B team for if you talk about inter-house competitions, people were lacking for a lot of competitions. They wanted to be the part of the school that competition. So they decided to have a new format of A and B team. So A team and B team for every house. So numbers of participation got increased. So in all those aspects, they were the one who were taking the participation and taking a lot of decisions.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Great back and forth, Gaurav. I think we are slightly over time, so let's bring up one more question and then wrap it up.
Sure. So this is a 30-second question, and I think this is more for I think both the groups, but we'll open it up for both of them. And the question is, the current board has done some good work in terms of Delhi College financially and infrastructure basis. So the question for Divyan and Sandeep is, did you get selected? How do you see taking the good work that they have done forward? What's your plan for next 5 years, apart from what you've mentioned?
So in terms of finances or in terms of the infrastructure?
Both.
Okay, you have the finances in place. See, the whole concept of finance is like you should have a finance, whatever, first you should have a goal and then raise the money for it. I mean, have a project, have a like infrastructure requirement, have a project in place, and then you source your money for it. Since you already have the money, you should have had the objective first and then raise the money. Since you already have the money, you re-employ into the development of school, development of the infrastructure. Junior school needs to be done. The AstroTurf courts needs to be done. You have a badminton court which has not been done for quite some time. You have squash courts which needs to be revamped. I mean, you have a lot of things which already need to be attended to. Plus, you need a lot of additional things which are required. So you have to have a mix of both, and you deploy your funds. Availability is there. You can even raise further funds, can always be raised. I mean, money is, in today's time, if you have the right objective, if you have the right delivery, money is not so difficult to raise. I mean, you've been raising tuition fee all the time, every year, irrespective of raising money and then making it into a reserve. It doesn't serve your purpose. I mean, you increase the fees when you need it, or else if you just increasing the fees and making a reserve, it doesn't serve your purpose. Increase the fees, give them a facility, give them some value for it, and then it's worth it. I mean, it's good for them, the children, basically.
Now I'll switch over to Dheeraj and Devraj. Same question. What do you see for next 5 years?
So Gaurav, lovely question actually. So you create reserves just not for the good times, for the bad times as well. And this has been the worst period for anybody. I'm sure, be it US or Japan or India or anywhere. So this reserve helped us in cutting 42% of the fees. So the parents, imagine a lot of people were going through financial challenges. We were able to cut down the fees by 42%, and still we didn't go into a loss. So the reserves are created for difficult times, and because of these reserves, we were all comfortable. We paid 99% staff the salaries. 1% who not been able to come, their salaries have not been paid for some reasons, but 99% staff have been paid salaries. So we started 5 years back. We had a plan, we had a vision. The first point was to get the reserves in place. Luckily, this board, with the help of my colleague here, Dheeraj, we were able to get this fund, and now it's about spending it judicially for good times and bad times both.
Awesome. Perfect. And I think that brings us to the end of our program today. That was the last question. Once again, on behalf of the volunteer group, I would like to thank everybody from the candidate side to join the call. I think it's 11 p.m. now.
Right.
So thank you for taking out time for this program, plus also folks in the on each of the coast here, because I think now the election results have also come up. Looks like my phone is buzzing here separately.
Yeah, we should congratulate you for your next president. You have a new president coming up.
Absolutely. So I think we'll call it a close here based on your time zone. Please get your drinks.
Thank you all for spending your time.
My take on this is that the world is looking for a change. Let's have a change.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Thank you for organizing this. And thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Have a
very
great
happy
day.
Diwali.
Enjoy your day. It's a beautiful day. Enjoy yourself. Bye.
Thank you for being here.
All the
Thank you
best
so
to
much, sir.
all four of you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for hosting us.
Happy Diwali.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy Diwali to
Happy
everyone.
Diwali to you all.
Happy Diwali, and thank you very much for sparing your time to be with us. Thank you for organizing it, Gaurav, Sandeep, Malika, everybody who has been a part of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was
Thank you,
great.
sir.